Hello, and I am back here on the channel. It is the most earth shaking, groundbreaking, order taking, but never mistaking the man, the myth, the legend, Lee Cole the Fourth. Most of that is trademarked by The Rock. LOL. Actually, I'm afraid one day, just one day, if I happen to make it, The Rock is going to look at my intro, and he is literally, yeah, $3. Finally got an intro. The Rock is going to look at my intro, and I don't even think he's going to sue me. He's going to find me, and he is going to give me a rock bottom of epic proportions. And you know what, Rock? I accept that. If you find my channel, please Twitter me getting a rock bottom. That's like a billion subscribers. So hopefully he finds us. Now, if you guys don't know, this review is going to be on The Walking Dead. And as you see, I have my Walking Dead shirt. I love this shirt. It's Daryl, and it says, killing it. So, thank you, $3. He probably will. I'll probably get a suplex or something. So anyways, if I don't answer some of your guys' questions, it's only because of the fact that I will be driving, and for safety's sake, I do not want to crash and die. But since I've got this awesome magnet, I figured the perfect time to shoot videos on the go, which was my sole purpose for getting the magnet. So hopefully between like neighborhoods and whatnot, my service doesn't drop out, because there's a certain zone I get to that's kind of a dead zone. So if I cut in and out, I do apologize in advance. But here we go. We are going to start this driving car video. That's trademark Geeks and Gamers. Anyways, so let's get moving. So Walking Dead. What can I say about The Walking Dead? Well, in the past couple of seasons, The Walking Dead has suffered really terrible writing. And there is a writer, Greg Nicotero, who works on the show. And when no, he's the working guy. Who's the guy who destroyed it? Was it Greg Nicotero? No, it was someone else. But anyways, this dude totally and completely broke the world of Walking Dead. Okay, spoiler alert, if any of you are watching and still have interest, Carl has died, Rick has left the show, a lot of the main cast has been killed. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this, because in the graphic novels of The Walking Dead, a lot of the characters are indeed dead. You know, Abram had died earlier, and, you know, a lot of the characters were on their way out. Here's my problem I had with the decisions made in The Walking Dead. The problem I had was that the deaths became less impactful, because every season they felt the need to one-up themselves with this notion that they had to kill someone at the end of the season. And good storytelling doesn't mean you have to kill your character. Your death should have weight on the story. The problem with The Walking Dead is death has become so desensitized that when a character dies, it doesn't hold any meaning. And this is where season 9... Thank you, Vase. And I said Vase, not Voss. I was going to be elitist and say Voss. It's a Voss Productions, but it's not. It's a Vase Productions. And by the way, $3, I know you're on here. If you haven't checked out Vase channel, go sub to him, because he does some amazing stuff over there. I wish I knew how to use special effects, and my videos would be better. But anyways, I'm upping my game by driving, so here we go. Like you said, a season ago, The Walking Dead went through a lot of problems. One of the main problems is the writers were in flux, and AMC did something smart that a lot of people won't do. They, hey there, how you doing, Star Wars Wiki? Good to see ya. So, yeah, the problems that The Walking Dead had was that the writers were in flux. So, coming into this new season, I wasn't optimistic. But then something magical happened. something magical happened between season 8 and 9 that I actually didn't see coming and hooked me back into the show. And now anyone who followed The Walking Dead long enough knows Jesus. And Jesus had an amazing send-off in the show that I had never seen. And I'm sorry, this is getting into spoiler territory, but there was a great and beautiful setup that I haven't seen in The Walking Dead in years. They were introducing the Whisperers, and there had been a notion of this group, and it's one of my favorite arcs in the graphic novel. There's a notion of this group that are using the zombies as camouflage, and I always found that interesting because throughout the show I said, why hasn't anyone used the zombies? And Robert Kirkman, being the genius that he is behind the comics, made a group that actually built their society within the zombie herd. And what they do is they use the herd as a weapon. And it's a really brilliant concept, executed pretty well in the graphic novel. Now, where the show did something right, they got 2 new writers. And, this is the credit to female writers. They're female writers. So when I heard this, I go, oh no, here we go. It's going to be SJW. All of the females are going to start ruling, and this show is going to go downhill. But that didn't happen. It didn't happen. The female writers actually started correcting the mistakes that were made by the male writer. The male writer was going more towards the feminist side, right? He started making the females take charge of these groups. It was getting bad, and anyone who watched the show can see that. All of a sudden, 2 female writers come up, and they just shake up the dynamic. And I was like, wow. So now you have female writers who know what the show is, and they've also read the comics or the graphic novels, and they started sticking truer to the material. And I said, my goodness, wow, maybe the SJWs should take notes. Females don't like the crap that these people are putting out, okay? So, I'm going to look up their names. I don't have my notes with me. This is kind of an impromptu review, but I just had to highlight how great their storytelling is in this episode. So, anyways, for a brief overview, yeah, Fear the Walking Dead has gotten way better. Never did Z Nation, never really liked it. The little baby zombie creeped me out. After that, I was done. But, yeah, so the female writers on this show, they came along and they saw the problems and they started correcting things. And Jesus, they didn't disrespect the character. Thank you. I'm starting to get over my cold. So they didn't disrespect the characters. What they did was these 2 female writers started fixing the mistakes that the male writers made, and I find that cosmically funny because the SJWs must be so mad right now. But they went through, and Jesus does die in this arc, at least in the graphic novels, and he dies very heroically. And the thing that I loved about, I think it was season 8 going into season 9, there's an arc where Jesus dies from one of the guys disguised as a walker. And Jesus has a great moment. He's sitting there, he's killing a ton of zombies, things is going down, and all of a sudden he goes to slice a zombie with a sword, and the zombie ducks. And this was haunting to me because I hadn't watched The Walking Dead in a minute, and I didn't know exactly what was going on, and it made me go back through and watch all the episodes. And they had been hinted to, but the way they introduced the Whisperers was brilliant. It was chilling, it was haunting, the setting was perfect. And now the episode was slow, building up to this moment, but when Jesus does his sword slice, he slices in the air, bam, and the zombie ducks. You have a holy crap moment. That's what I had, because I did not see it coming. You know, they're fighting walkers, and walkers don't move. They just stand there and get stabbed. And when a zombie ducks, there's this thing, the name of the episode is called Evolution. Watch it if you haven't. There's this thing where Eugene is saying the zombies are evolving. He thinks they're talking. And throughout the episode you think he's nuts, and then all of a sudden this big moment happens where Jesus is just going ham on all these zombies, right? He's using martial arts, he's using his sword. I mean, it's pretty brutal stuff. And then all of a sudden the zombie ducks him and stabs him in the chest, and they do the slow motion perfect. Everything goes silent. It was really like the Game of Thrones moment with the Reigns of Castian when it just kind of goes quiet for the credits. They did that kind of a moment. And I'm sorry someone beeped at me. Freaking jerks. You know what? I nothing against old people because I'm getting old, but really, sometimes they're crazy. Anyways, so they're sitting there and they take out this herd of zombies. Jesus dies. It's an epic moment. And then they introduce the walkers. The Whisperers. The Whisperers are the most haunting figures in The Walking Dead for me. Alpha could have gone two ways. She could have been a really boring, lame character, or an awesome character like in the graphic novels, and she is awesome. Whoever plays Alpha did their homework. They shaved their head bald, just like in the graphic novel. And Alpha has this presence. She has this presence where she puts off crazy smart, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, out of their mind, but they know how to plan things. And just the way she deals with her society is chilling. Her backstory is chilling. Like, she's just a chilling character. And for all of you who don't know, the dude who plays Beta, one of my personal favorite characters, is played by that really big guy from Sons of Anarchy. I believe his name is Ryan Hurst. He was Obi in the show. He was the biggest dude, Jax's friend. This dude gets work. And in The Walking Dead, he is everything that I pictured Beta being. He is big, he's looming, he's got the voice acting down. Like, when he talks, you can't tell that that's dude from Sons of Anarchy. He talks in a low, gravelly voice that every time he's on screen, it is just haunting to hear this man speak a word. So when he speaks a word, you better listen, because he will kill you. Okay? There's no question about it. He will end your life. And it's scary. And I think what this season is doing well is it's getting back to the roots of the show with a little bit of drama mixed in there. Because you have to have drama in a world with zombies and people and society and things like that, and the breakdown of society. I understand that aspect. But what the other show creators did that was wrong was they made it like a dramatic, really dramatic zombie story that no one cared about that much drama. I just want to see zombies getting killed and, some good, compelling characters. Now, with this season, what they've done is restructure everything. With Carl being dead, there's Judith, who's the little youngster, and she's kind of taken the role of what Carl was, and I'm fine with that. I'm really fine with that, because this little girl has a lot of personality, and they're really developed. And I can see her. Yeah, the romance. The romance was terrible. There's no time to have romance in the zombie apocalypse, people, okay? You look a mess. I don't want to see, love scenes with two dirty-looking people. It's just gross, okay? Come on. There's no showers. I mean, or at least or something. I mean, just from a sanitary perspective, ugh. Yes, I agree. The romance aspect was definitely scandalous, and I appreciate it. And sorry about that. Like I said, I drop in and out between dead zones, but it felt like they were pushing narratives when they started getting into the girl characters and all of their romance and relationships. No one wants to see that. So, anyways, in this season, it's been really good. And now episode 13, called Choke Point, had one of the most epic fight scenes between Daryl and Beta. And if you haven't watched it, you don't need to watch the rest of the episode. Watch the last 10 minutes. It's one of the best fight scenes I think The Walking Dead has ever done. And it really proves how formidable Beta is. Both Daryl and Beta come out of that fight. They're basically like the muscle for each corresponding group. And they come out of, and it's like a battle of conviction slash whose side is better. And you know, I don't want to ruin it, but just watch it. Beta is the man. I mean, dude gets stabbed, dude gets shot. He's like a freaking Terminator. He just keeps on coming back, and Daryl gets thrown every which way in that fight. It's amazing. But anyways, so back to my point. Is entitled Scars. And at first, I thought it was going to be one of those boring generic episodes. It's one of the last three, and they don't do the good stuff until episode 15, 16, which I still have to watch. 15 and 14. For a while, they've been showing this scar that's on the back of Daryl and Michonne, and we don't get a lot of subtext to why they have this X-shaped scar. And it's then revealed that Michonne hasn't trusted the groups since an event happened. And unlike Fear the Walking Dead is terrible with flash, so I kind of really had to pay attention. But the gist of the story is that Michonne finds a long-lost friend that she hasn't spoken with in years since the apocalypse happened and assumed she was dead. And she comes to Alexandria, and, you know, Michonne's all buddy-buddy. She's pregnant, and her best friend is very good. She's the girl from True Blood, the African-American, because I like to be politically correct here on the channel, of True Blood. She played Sookie's best friend. She guest stars in this episode. And, she does a really great job. She does a great job in dropping their sense of guard. And then she goes and she stages a coup, takes the children, and you find out that she is leading a group of children because her child died. And there's this whole big thing where she feels like the kids of this world are exposed and she wants to raise them as like a de facto army. It's kind of a really sad storyline, and it gives a lot of subtext to why Michonne in the beginning of the season doesn't trust anyone the way through. Yeah. Anyways, that's how you do characterization, but you know, I digress. Anyways, so the children are kidnapped from the encampment. Daryl and a pregnant Michonne go out there to get them, and it's a really great scene because Michonne is like, I'm gonna assume like 8 months pregnant or such. I don't know how those things work, but she's like pretty far along. And so she picks up her sword, and Daryl's like, you know, I can go and do it. You can't strain yourself, yada, yada, yada. And Michonne is essentially in charge, seeing as to Rick is gone. So she feels it's her responsibility to get the kids back. And they go and they fight a couple of zombies, of course, because it's The Walking Dead. And they finally find this encampment. And because of Michonne's state, she can't defend as well as she would. And this is good character development because they are showing the flaws of quite possibly one of my favorite and most BA women of The Walking Dead. Since Michonne came on the show, what you have seen is her always having the upper hand. She always has the advantage over all of these people and these things, and it's believable because she's really good with that sword. But in this moment, Daryl gets shot with a crossbow in the shoulder. All these kids are surrounding her with weapons, and she's pregnant. And she has Judith to worry about. So she can't do what needs to be done because it's kids. So anyways, they knock her out, and they hang her and Daryl up on this pipe. And Daryl and her get branded, like a literal branding, with this hot poker. in the shape of an X, and hence why they both have the scar of an X, and why they both didn't trust anyone. And they set up to go back through and make the threads that were set up make sense, so that way we're not scratching our heads. And the really great part about the scene is that there's a realization when she starts killing people and she gets to the kid. No, it wasn't good for him at all. They get to this part where this kid is told by that girl to kill all of the kids in this trailer. And this is some really dark stuff that they get into. And I'm like, wow, I'm digging it. Like, the first half hour of the show was a little slow, but then once you get to this part, I'm like, wow, she really ordered these kids to all be killed. And it gives good context to the way the world is now. And, Michonne talks this kid down. And the best part about this show is the interaction between her, Negan, and Judith. Because they're doing flashbacks and flash forwards, and Judith gets lost again. And the whole episode is of her dynamic between her and Judith. How she's not her mom, but she loves her as if she was. And I don't know why, there's something powerful in that sentiment. In the moment where Michonne has never cared about anyone until she met Rick. And then she met Judith, and there's still kind of a disconnect with Carl dying. She doesn't want to get too close to anyone because they die in her eyes. And then when Negan says to her, because Michonne has been holding back from Judith throughout the whole season, certain things about the past. And Negan doesn't care. Negan's in the cage. He loves Judith in his own way, and he sees her as this, reflection of both Rick and Carl. And that's what Michonne doesn't see. And it takes Negan, yes, a white toxic male, to tell her, hey, you're a mother now. You're a mother, and you have to tell your child the way the world is, because she's smart and she's figuring it out. And she is going to pull away from you if you do not give her the truth. And there's something powerful in that statement, that moment. And then Judith runs off. And Michonne, like a true mom, is sitting there fighting. Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, white and toxic. But she's sitting there fighting through all of these zombies. And something so powerful about this, because for once it goes back to the roots of the show, she is fighting in desperation. She's literally taken out hundreds of zombies to get to her little girl. And she finally gets to her. And in a moment, kind of like we saw with Carl's death, one of the zombies grab her, and you see the fear and the love and the compassion in her eyes as she races over to save Judith's life. And this is what Walking Dead used to be. It used to be a lot of powerful moments. It used to be a lot of good scenes that carried the show. And even an episode that was basically a placeholder, to me, was one of the finest episodes of season 9, because we got so much character development in Michonne, in Negan, in Judith. They're actually building these characters for us to care about them. They're building a new core, and they're building it the right way. They're not doing it the Rian Johnson way, where you just artificially insert a character and you go, okay. Yep. After season 2, there were a lot of gripes. I liked the governor. I thought that actor did a good job portraying him. They did change a lot of the material, but anyways, like I was saying, there's a lot of good character moments, and that is strong female empowerment. Seeing a person fight for their child is the strongest sentiment that you can put into a show about the apocalypse, because the show in essence is about fighting for the things you love and rebuilding something that was destroyed and making it better. That's what The Walking Dead has been about. These peoples rebuilding a better society. Sorry about that. Whenever I get a call. Apparently, it interferes with my stream, so I really got to figure out a way to fix that. But in close, Walking Dead right now is getting back to its roots, and I really think I have to see the episode before the season final and then the season final to make a more accurate judgment on. But good job. I'm glad that they can hire a good female writing cast that knows about character development. I think if you have female writers, they can develop the female characters to be strong, powerful females without overshadowing the males, male and female interactions a lot more fluidly. This was an episode about Daryl. This was an episode about Michonne. I love Michonne. It's a little bit to get through, but it's a good way to introduce. Yeah, thank you. Whenever someone does a call, I get interrupted. But anyways, like I was saying, it was a good introduction into the final two episodes. I think that they're building a much stronger world than they had, and they're introducing female characters the right way. They're not degrading their male counterparts, but they're working with them, and you can see it in the writing and in the interactions between the males and females. So hopefully The Walking Dead continues in this direction, because I really want the Whisperers War to be as action-packed as it was in the graphic novel, because the Whisperers War was a pivotal moment in the series as a whole. And Robert Kirkman, I believe, is strongly coming to a close in this whole epic saga. So, anyways, if you haven't checked it out, go and watch. Go and watch the last 4 episodes, are really the highlight. The rest of them are okay. The scenes with Negan are always a joy. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a phenomenal actor, and he just embodies that character. But other than that, you don't need to see the rest of the season. Watch the last 4 episodes. I think that they have gotten back to the roots, and there's some real strong writing in there. So, that's pretty much my take on it. I will continue to cover the final 2 episodes, and I will give you my take on the season as a whole. I'll tell you where it fails, where it doesn't, where I think the writing team should take it moving forward, and how they can bring back The Walking Dead. It is season 9. So I would actually start at season, I think it was, no, it's season 9. Go to about the 8th episode with Jesus' death, kind of start there, because that was where it got really, really good. There's some really good character developments. There's a lot of cool things with the Kingdom and Ezekiel. They really utilize him in one episode. It's a very funny, good episode. There's been some standout stuff in this season. And I think that if they do more standout material, then this show is going to get back to where it was. This show is really going to get back to the basics, so to speak. So, anyways, that's my take on this. And The Walking Dead as a whole. And if you don't know, I do these reviews when I'm not ranting about Brie Larson or some up-and-coming news that's been going on that I'm really passionate about. But I want to get back to doing more of these kind of reviews for you guys, because I really do movies and television shows and anime. So, oh yeah, thanks, Wookie. Some of the stuff is hard to get through, but you'll find some gems sprinkled in between there. The season with Negan was a highlight for me. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Every time he's on scene, the problem is he steals the show because he's so good. And the battle between him and Rick is epic. So definitely check that out. But I'm going to come back to you guys and do an anime review eventually. I've been sifting through my collection of anime. So. Yeah. Yeah, I really do. I love Negan. He's such a great character, and his introduction was so impactful. It split the fans, but me, I fall on the side of that. I liked it. It was straight from the comic books, and it was a really good take on introducing Negan. He made an impact in the show, so the choices they made after that were kind of poor. But it is what it is. In writing, you take the good with the bad. I mean, TV shows go up, they go down. The next show I'll probably do is one of my favorite shows, The Blacklist. I love James Spader, and he's a really great actor. He was in Age of Ultron. He voiced Ultron. He's really phenomenal in that show. So I might do a couple of breakdowns of the seasons of Blacklist, which is phenomenal. Yeah, Blacklist is that show. I mean, every season they just do it right. They do it right. I can't have more praise for a show. Um, Blacklist is like up here for me. But yeah, yeah. This is my review for the day. I'm gonna be back on here with some news and some other different things. Yeah, yeah. Red and what's her name? Hold on, I'm blanking out on it because I hear so many names in shows. Uh, oh, I can't think of it. Red, and what's her name? This is gonna bug me. And normally I could Google it, but I'm on my phone here, so I can't. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They have a good dynamic. Um, Liz, thank you. Red and Liz. It's such an easy name too. Red and Liz have the greatest dynamics that I've seen with characters. So that's a really good relationship, very well developed. I buy her as a strong female character because she gets knocked down, she gets back up. I mean, it's really good writing. So I'm definitely going to bring you that review. But until next time, thank you very much. This has been Lee Cole the Fourth. Finally getting over my cold, and I'm going to be bringing you like 2 more videos because I try to do 3 a day. Every day it's a little tough. Sometimes I can only do 2 or 1 depending on how I feel, but this is numero uno, number 1 for all of you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna drink me some tea and catch up on some other channels. I try to watch everyone's stuff, try to like everyone. It's really hard, especially being in the 120s now and so many people that I want to show love to. It gets tough. So, but anyways, thank you for tuning into the channel. As always, please hit that like. Um, yes, I am waiting. Oh, oh man, that was painful to watch. As a guy, I was literally at work. I was at work, grabbing mine, going, "Oh, oh man, that was that was some serious cringe." I felt his pain. I think every guy in the world simultaneously cringed and felt pain. Yes, you know, but it was for the kids. I respect that, and you know, I'm really glad that they're going to do what they're going to do. Him and Drunk are great, and if you guys Drunk, Jesse, if you watch the video, you guys are amazing, and a big shout out to you. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Angus. Shout out to all the people who have been promoting my videos. I really appreciate you guys. And, I'm at 126, but it's kind of crazy. I'm going to be happy at whatever number I kind of get boxed into. So far, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Star Wars. I'm gonna I'm gonna get you know, I just realized that says Star Woke. I've been calling you Star Wookie. Now I just feel like a jerk. Sometimes these things flash so fast. I kind of have to grab the name on the dash and okay, I'm gonna stick with Star Wookie because I like that. You know, Wookiees for life. I love those things. They're so great. Little angry, but they are great. Anyways, if you guys like this, leave me comments below. You want me to review anything, leave me comments below. I do reviews for the people as well when I have time. So I will definitely review something for you if you have an interest in getting my take on it. Anyways, this is the man, the myth, the legend, signing off, Lee Cole the Fourth, and thank you for tuning into the channel. And as always, me and Goose the Cat will see you at the movies.